Maniac 4 bricks, and I can't tell you how happy I am that I found this while doing some spring cleaning. I've been searching for this thing for the better half of the past year and looking in all different areas. It's also along with the foam hammer that I've been trying to look for, the Lego foam hammer that I've mentioned on previous live streams and has been brought up in other circles. And one of several items that I've just been trying to look for. I've been going through tons and tons of boxes in storage in my house, and it just so happened to turn up right now, right before this video uploaded. And I'm going to talk about it because this thing is not. This is one of those Lego products that's not heavily documented, or if other people have it, I have no idea if they have it. Nobody else has ever posted about it. I've mentioned it in passing before, and people are like, "Whoa, I never heard of that." So it's like my classic phrase, I never knew that existed. So as soon as I found it, I had to make a video. I had to share about this thing in hand, finally. So this is a Legoland item that I picked up, not at Legoland. I picked this up at Brickford, Virginia in 2019. A big shout out to Bricks O'Brien, who actually found it while the yard sale was happening in 2019. He let me know about it like as soon as he found it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna want that. So I went right over, picked it up. I paid $20 for this thing used. It still has everything here as far as I can tell. The only other thing was that it was in a sandwich bag. Like, I don't think it had any other outer components to it. Because this thing isn't documented that much online, even Bricklink doesn't have a listing for this item, unfortunately. And finding it on eBay is kind of a crapshoot, pardon my French. I don't know if there's more to this that would have been included alongside it when it was in the stores, when it was in Legoland. And Legoland items kind of have that mishap sort of thing. They're not always heavily documented or archived or databased or anything like that on Lego websites, especially Bricklink, Brickowl, Brickset, and so on. The major ones that a lot of us AFOLs like to use. I'm not saying that the items themselves are rare. It just means that if people don't go to Legoland, if they don't pick up certain things from the souvenirs, they may not even know that it was a thing. It's it's less common, but it's not necessarily like I'm sure they made tons of these. I have no idea how many and how many are still out there, but it is part of the Legoland collection. We do know that. 1999, according to the tag. So obviously this is adventurers themed because they have Johnny Thunder and Pippin Reed, or if you may, what's the other names? There's like a ton of other names in other regions for Johnny Thunder. Joe Grant, I think was one of them, or Joe Freeman, Sam Grant. There's like one or two of them that are loosely based on Jurassic Park, which they did have him in Jurassic Park sets after the fact. Go figure. I think Gale Storm, it might be another name for Pippin Reed. Maybe a third name. I have to look back. I have notes about it from Brick Theories. I have yet to make, or have put off for a long time. There was one I was going to make a while ago, but I digress. So, Passport to Adventure. It's got Adventure title there. I assume this was some kind of area of the park. I haven't actually been to a Legoland theme park ever. I've been to Legoland Discovery Centers, but I have not been to the outdoor theme parks. And I'm imagining because it was 99, this would have been well before the Florida one, of course. So if it was in the States, it would have been basically just the California location, I think. So yeah, let's open this thing up. So got a Velcro seal there. Opens up kind of like a trifold wallet, but much bigger, so you can actually store more stuff in there, like bigger papers, pamphlets. It's got a pocket right there. It's a nice material. I don't know what the material is. It doesn't say anywhere for the tags or whatever, but it feels nice. It feels almost like something you would have if you were doing like a Johnny Thunder cosplay. Like I haven't done that before. If it feels right. Doesn't feel cheap. It feels good. Oh, that's the way it opens. That makes sense. Everything else already goes that way. So you got a zipper one. to hold things up there. Yeah, as far as I know, this is it. I really don't know if there was any other inserts that might have been with this thing, other than maybe like cardboard just to keep it flat, but what would anybody need that for? And you got the string itself here that was definitely not part of the original thing with the twisty tie here. This seems large enough that it might be a shoulder bag of some sort, kind of more Indiana Jonesy. Yeah, couple feet. Yeah, good length to it. I'm trying it myself. I don't know if I should model this on, on camera in my kitchen. Let's see. Wrap it around. And it's a little small for an adult, but it could work. All right, you know what? What's the point of being online if not to goof on yourself? So, give me a moment to set up the camera. Bada boom, bada bing. I'm gonna face backward. The camera facing that. Ta-da! Oh, whoop. Ta-da! Okay, there we go. So yeah, fitting on me, size large, male. Doesn't quite hard to call it. It's not called that. Never mind. I was trying to think of like it's not reaching the hip. It's not reaching the hip area, as you can see there. Normally, a knapsack or a shoulder bag like that would be around hip area, waist area, but it's also probably made for kids. That might be a thing of it too. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Put it back on there. That's also very, very possible because why wouldn't it be? So, for youngin, yes, this would be fine. But I definitely like the concept here. I definitely like the look of it. It seems like something that would fit thematically with adventurers items. Again, I don't know anybody else who has this thing. That does not mean that this thing is entirely rare, but I know people want it. when I first showed a picture of this, I just happened to I took a photo at Brick Fair, Virginia, when I got this thing, and then I did a Instagram story, and I tagged, shout out to thank you to Bricks O'Brien for, letting me know of this. I had that photo saved, pretty much backed up on my drive, and and for a while, I remembered somebody else had asked me about this thing, and I was like, yeah. I am not sure where it is, but I know I still have it. I didn't get rid of it or anything. So I'd give him updates of when I would find it. And then I just couldn't update for a while because I didn't find it. But I did share a photo, I think, on Instagram at one point of at least this thing existing, that I have had this thing. And other people were like, yo, I want it. Like, I want that too. So, yeah, I mean, again, if I find any more information about this, even long after this video has happened, I will submit it in the description down below. Whether or not Bricklink or other websites will take on some kind of database entry for this thing, I'm not sure. I will probably get a couple more photos of this thing around just to have photos around. I love documenting Lego stuff. I love finding odd Lego merchandise, whether or not it's rare or just not heavily, talked about or documented or anything like that. Adventurers is a very beloved theme to Lego fans, myself included. So I know, what's this, Monday? Yeah, okay. This is definitely not going for Johnny Thunder Thursday on a Thursday, but I did miss the last one, so maybe that'll make up for it. But I think, hey, the fact that I have this thing, I think will be okay, regardless of what day of the week it is. That's a hashtag trend in the Lego community. Johnny Thunder Thursday, where people post about adventurers themed mocks or products or anything admiring the theme, which could be anything from Egypt, Amazon, Dino Island, or an expedition, covering all the bases of Johnny Thunder themed stuff. Yeah, I'm glad I have this. I don't know how much more there is to say about it. Yes, I took 10 minutes to talk about a kid's shoulder bag because it has Johnny Thunder on it. That's the nature of this channel. That's just how it goes. I never really considered this thing to be like a bizarre Lego object, though. I mean, if it would have gone into bizarre Lego as far as the book, I probably would have put it with like just a menagerie of Legoland merchandise that just wasn't heavily documented or photographed up to the point. But again, not because it's rare or obscure or, well, I guess obscure is the right word. Words are hard, man. Anyways, I'm glad I have this. I'm glad I was able to find this. I feel really dumb because this was in a Lego bag that was staring me in the face for several months. A bag that I had no other reason to go into except for something else that I didn't find in that bag. And just out of curiosity, I looked in that bag further. There was no foam hammer in there. I had said in passing that maybe the foam hammer would have been with this because those are both just items that have been to Brick Fair before and possibly would have been, shuffled together somewhere else, and that was a place I probably wouldn't have looked for them, but it's not in there. I do still have to keep looking for the Lego foam hammer, and that will have its own video. You bet it will have its own video when I find that, because once again, not a heavily documented thing that I love adding to the Lego fandom. Just having, knowledge of that. There are actually a couple other Legoland things I believe I've talked about on the channel before that haven't been documented or haven't been fully understood. I've tried researching them a couple times and couldn't find anything major about them. So that's that. Legoland Adventures, Passport to Adventure. It's the equivalent of a giant trifold wallet, which I already have one of those. I have a Lego one, go figure, from the Lego Batman movie. But it has, 2 card slots, zipper, and a big fold in the middle for whatever you need. It could be a nice little day pack kind of thing for a kid. I could see that as like, okay, you pick this up at Legoland and the souvenir shop, and you could bring it around with you throughout the day or on the next trip or something like that. Like, you bring your minifigs with it. I don't know. Legoland collection. So yeah, whoever I have to get in contact with Bricklink. I mean, I think I've helped with Bricklink inventories before. There was like a build and play Wii remote from Power A, licensed by Lego. I helped them inventory that. I would love to document other stuff or just contributing more information to already existing entries. That being said, I have found stuff on the site that I never thought would be for sale. And it was like, wow, that exists for some time. And then it was gone. And then I had to find it some other way. But one or two, I was like, I got the alerts on, I got it, it's good. I'm rambling here, clearly. So the past like 4 minutes, you probably didn't. You could have been gone. I would have been fine. It's no big deal. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to do all that stuff, and comment down below what you think about this item. I don't know what else to offer you for right now, when the next video will be, what the next video will be, but I still would like to have something. Sharing more, of these things have been on my mind for so long to find. Thank you to Will Harper for joining me while it was live, pretty much all the way through. You didn't have to be here, especially for the last couple minutes, but I appreciate it all the same. And thank you everybody else. Have yourself a wonderful day, and it's getting warm out. So take good care.